Dum bum bum. Ba-dum bum ba-dum bum. Bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-bum bum dum ba-dum. We press all the buttons. We press in all the buttons. Oh shit, it's a kit stream. Crazy. Up, down, down, down. Out the chat, put it here. Put a little butter on it. Da-ba-da. Put a little butter on it. Alright, what up? Is Genshin time? He says, realizing that, you know, he's a little bit behind. Hopefully y'all can hear everything. Ugh. Is it just me or is the Elgato like brighter? Filters, edit. There you go. Oh wait, it's not so saturated. Weird. Alright, I'm gonna just do... Here's a question. How dumb am I? Not that dumb. Kinda dumb. Awesome. Alright, well let's go kill this thing. Let's just fight this super fast and then we're gonna go do actual fun stuff. Fun stuff. We love fun stuff. Card game to do today. We have exploring to do. We have maybe an event. Probably not an event. But like an event has started. And I kind of want to wait until Saturday to do the event. The first event. We'll worry about the others later. First, I want to do the Scaramouche quest, which... Ooh, if you all know my feelings on the Scaramouche boy, you know that I am probably not going to be too excited for this quest. And for good reason, because I think Scaramouche has been written horribly in this game. Absolutely horribly. But can he be redeemed in one simple Archon quest? That's the question. That is the question we pose to ourselves today. Can Scaramouche be... Excuse me. Having to hide my hair that's like freaking everywhere. Jesus. Look at this. I'll get a haircut eventually. That's the question. Can we somehow like Scaramouche after a quest? Let's find out. We're going to start this, see for the best. Let's see.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you?
I love this man's voice.
Soon a mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about.
Hey,
Unless,
Sporkertons.
you
How's it going?
restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Tatarasuna, that's something else.
This is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, the mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting
Tatarasuna is Inazuma, though.
That's the only reason I came to you.
Yes, you came to me. So all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is,
Beep,
it's
boop.
the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
That's all I have to say.
But
What about beep boop? Are you a shoop?
Did one of them just mention Tatarasuna? But that's all the way in Inazuma. Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here is just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything.
Let's go listen in.
Let's go find out what this Tatarasuna mystery is all about.
Wait a second. That's probably the event, right? Version of Genesis. No, that is actually... Wait, is that actually... This is the Archon quest. Story quest is the test of courage. Okay, yeah, why are you talking about Tatarasuna? Why are we talking about Inazuma? What's going on?
I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper. If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about.
Pardon, hi, I'm a traveler looking for me.
You're the traveler, you say?
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
Don't believe me, I'll go.
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma.
That's
This
good.
is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
Okay.
So what, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kind of lacking.
Sounds about right for scientists,
Traveler,
researchers,
I
all the
hear
above.
you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatarasuna?
What about it?
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
I see.
I mean, we know of Tatarasuna, we just don't
My
know.
teacher chose this
too
area
much.
of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatarasuna.
Excuse me?
Oh, hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade.
Okay.
But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows.
Okay.
Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an
That's probably
Inazuman word
Scaramouche,
for an
right?
eccentric stranger.
Probably
Someone
Scaramouche.
who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground.
Probably
This kabuki mono
Scaramouche,
lived in
right?
Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens?
Moida? Crazy Moida.
Seems kind of fishy to Paimon.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow, did I get lucky!
Lucky.
Stop shouting!
But shouting's for
That's
great.
important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the Government Records Office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago.
So someone's an old
Even back
fart.
then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Could it be?
Wait, so there are two missing people in this?
We know.
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever
Niwa.
heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Yeah, his name is Kazuha.
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Yeah, we
Oh,
know this.
yes, you really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art.
Yeah, we know Kazuha.
Something then seems to
He's
have
our friend,
happened in
our
the
best
Kaidahara
friend.
clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
There's more?
Oh,
Do
yes,
tell.
Of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
Ah, who the fuck is Pete?
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabuki Mono was not a human, but a puppet.
Dun dun dun! Scaramouche. The Shogun puppet that the Archon made should be ruling Inazuma with her as we speak. It couldn't be her. The Kabuki Mono has to be the balladeer, but what was he doing 400 years ago in Tatarasuna?
Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
Glare Paimon hopes she keeps her mouth shut?
No, Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky.
So this is the
events are to
first
be
of
expected, and
actual
that's
point of
exactly
learning
what
he's a
my book is
puppet.
about. Please take a look.
Author Sarada, Extract 1, The Isle of Darkling Clouds. A man arrived in Tatarasuna around 3 in the afternoon. From afar, he spied laborers walking around the mountain roads toward the factories, their shoes scuffing along the jutting stones. They walked like people convinced that so long as they reached the fire raging in the mountain's belly, they might extract from its gems beyond price. The mood that the sight inspired was ineffable, beyond description for those not present to witness it. The man barked a cheerful greeting and sprinted to join the procession. There, a towering character who stood half a head taller greeted him with a heavy slap on the back, and yet his words were filled with respect. "Do my eyes deceive me, Sir Miyazaki? I cannot think that the return trip here from Inazuma City could have been easy on you." Miyazaki smiled like a young man taking the first steps on their journey, expression relaxed. "Why, Katsuragi, Inazuma is the realm of the almighty Shogun. I sailed upon the fastest ship, strode upon the swiftest sea routes. What dangers could I have possibly faced? But what about the good news?" There was some, naturally. The two burst into uproarious laughter, roughhousing with the other workers until the path's end. A young man dressed in a linen shirt and wearing a headscarf gazed into the dancing flame of the furnace before him. Now the flames of a forge are unlike any other, for their intensity affects the resulting integrity of both metal and blade. So too then was the flame watcher an unusual individual. At his fingertips sat a lizard, and on his face he wore a smile. The workshop was huge and the furnace was deeper within. A reasonable person might think that there should have been many working alongside the watcher, yet he stood alone. Only when Katsuragi and Miyazaki strode into the room did the watcher turn. This watcher was Niwa, armory officer and administrator of Tatarasuna. Born to the Niwa clan, which served as one of the 3 pillars of the Ishin art, Niwa never argued with his siblings and was a worthy successor by all accounts. The post he received as a result of his high standing was those in power served as a statement unto itself. Miyazaki handed a well-bundled text to Niwa as he adjusted his expression as said, "It is as you have said, sir. The elders of your clan in the city do not think highly of our plan, yet I still believe it is to be worth a try. As such, I have found the proper vendors and procured the materials that you requested." Niwa studied the text and nodded. "We should try some of these new forging techniques, whether Katahara says yea or nay." Katsuragi frowned, and with a sigh he said, "Forging is a precise and difficult undertaking. You know this better than most, sirs, and still you seek improvement each day with terrifying drive. Ah, should my lord Nagamasa hear this, the sourness in his face shall be hard to miss." Niwa smiled, replying, "And how goes the forging of your lord's great blade, Katsuragi?" Katsuragi neither wanted to shame his master nor lie to his 2 friends, and yet he could not think of any way to deflect, and so groused, "I see your ears are as keen as your hands, Sir Niwa. The jokes of us unlearned men are as nothing before you." Miyazaki hid his grin. Upon hearing this, Niwa released the lizard from his hand into Katsuragi's palm, but just as more words were to be exchanged, someone came walking nearby, their footsteps light with the celerity of youth. The head that peeked in was round, and the light of the fires looked like an oiled jewel. The young man placed some boxed food at the side, and nodding, he prepared to leave. Katsuragi called out after him, "What about your share? Aren't you going to eat it?" The young man, upon hearing these words, found himself slightly at a loss. After a while, he answered, "Very well, I'll try it." "You are welcome to the food. We all eat the same fare after all," Niwa said. The man nodded and left, seemingly deep in thought. Extract 2. The Kabuki Mono was by the coast. Sunset fell to the accompaniment of darkness. The bands of twilight showed themselves not, for in their place did thunderclouds roil, grumbling the omens of a coming rainstorm. Darkness filled the flesh of the sea, and the dusk bade the clouds to kneel upon the land, its supplication mirroring the Kabuki Mono, with knees bent and face pointed toward the waters. None passed that way, and none knew what he was waiting for in silence. Time passed, unmeasured and uncounted, till a black cloud suddenly tore free from the sky and began to circle the Kabuki Mono, bearing down on him like a nightmare. Though he was not aware at first, after his studying gaze was refined by time, he understood this cloud had marked him from the start. Outbound, a fishing boat drew near, the lights of its bow flickering in and out of sight beneath falling sheets of rain. A mist spooled across the area, stealing sight from the fisherman. Repeatedly exclaimed, "It is but dusk, how are my eyes darkened? Is there anyone that can deliver my boat upon safe tides?" Like a falling spear, the black cloud reached the bottom of the boat, and was joined in its bereftness of direction. Like a charging beast, they plunged into the shoreline. Scant steps away, the Kabuki-mono stood idle, slanting his head to study the grand wreck. Not but half an arm was left of the one who had cried out for help, and with a plop it landed at the Kabuki-mono's feet. He crouched to better study the object, straining against the urge to take a bite out of it. Yet he did not, for the dark cloud swirling down had already picked the remnants of the ship clean. The Kabuki-mono stared at it blankly, like an awakening dreamer. When he returned to himself, the clouds had scattered, as if there had never been there at all. As for the ship, could it have been struck down by a storm? Who was to know? Not the Kabuki-mono. Extract 3. Whew. Katsuragi rushed to the doorway and shouted, "My lord, things go ill at the furnace. I have searched for Sir Niwa, and there is no trace of him. And much time has passed since Sir Miyazaki left to seek aid, but he has yet to send us any missive. Look." Mikoshi Nagamasa turned slowly, his face grave as one attending a funeral. He spoke then, his words heavy laden. "I wish not to say such words, Katsuragi, but Sir Miyazaki may never return." Katsuragi peered past Nagamasa's broad stiff shoulders, beyond the windows. The clouds above boiled in waves of black, as if darkness now was the only weather and might even morph into an abyssal beast and devour Tatarasuna whole. Over 10 people had already perished. That was why... Katsuragi recoiled as if struck. Yes, it was coming back to him now, in dribs and drabs. That was why they had to set out to seek aid. Miyazaki had been the first to set sail. The clouds had only just begun to form then. Traveling from Tatarasuna to Inazuma to ask for support was normally no great feat, and yet there had been no sign of his return. Then a second ship was sent, followed by a third and a fourth. Till the Kabuki-mono himself had departed upon the tides under foul skies and ominous fortunes. It had been Katsuragi who had brought him back and treated him as his own, and it pained him greatly to see the lad go. Yet the situation at Tatarasuna was severe. Even should they sacrifice more lives, it would have been worth it to gain assistance from Inazuma City. Niwa was gone, and none could find him. Afterward, Nagamasa led a search party into the mountains in the area around the furnace, all to no avail. Folk began to wonder if Niwa might have encountered an accident, but worry soon turned to suspicion, and they wondered if he had fled, unwilling to bear the sin of having caused these incidents. The people grew even more suspicious, and Nagamasa himself strained against his discontent and fury. His face had grown to resemble the rumbling clouds above. Suddenly, a figure flashed by. Their presence did not go unnoticed by Nagamasa. He drew his blade and cut, though he only nicked the silken veil the intruder wore. For a moment, they swayed, and then, like a marionette pulled by strings, they moved behind Nagamasa, laughing darkly. "Are you seeking someone, my lord? Niwa, perhaps?" Nagamasa bellowed in fury. "You dare address Sir Niwa directly?" Yet the figure parted like mist before his falling blade, only to rematerialize beyond reach but not beyond sight. A ghastly apparition indeed. "Was it you who slew my people?" Nagamasa howled and charged, held back only by Katsuragi's desperate grip. As his senses returned to him, he realized he was but an inch away from falling into the furnace. It seems that the rest of the work remains unfinished. From the existing text, however, it is apparent that this novel is a fantastical, colorful sensibilities born from an imagination well utilized.
And please read my
Hi,
essay
Pineapple.
draft as well.
How's it going? Okay. You know what? Fuck it, we reading everything. A brief analysis of possible events of historical importance in the Tatarasuna area. Details. This text belongs to a series of works sponsored by the Vahuma's Veilcutter Project. It has yet to be numbered. Author, Akuba. Abstract. The Tatarasuna area has always been a major pillar of Inazuma's smithing industry. 2 incidents have occurred here, and the details behind the first are vague at best. I believe, however, that there might be a hidden story behind the events that transpired. Hence, this paper will attempt to analyze what may have unfolded from the available data. Glossary. The Tatarasuna area. Writer Gokuden. Mikoshi Nagamasa. Kabuki-mono. Introduction. This paper contains and expands the work of my mentor, Mr. Rumi, and his report on the happily hidden tales of Tatarasuna, and is intended to further this avenue of research. According to the data, the blade forging techniques of Inazuma were originally handed down from the Electro Archon, also known as the Raiden Shogun. Using the arts they inherited from their Archon, the people of Inazuma devoted themselves to the process of forging. However, strange rumors that do not quite fit the steely nature of metalwork yet linger about Tatarasuna, which was a central pillar for the forging industry. There, the Mikoshi and Niwa clans, along with an eccentric puppet, serve as the 3 windows of insight we need to investigate the truth behind what happened. Body. Strange notes from the Tatarasuna area. Their contents are as follows. 1. Perhaps I overstep, but I think that Sir Nagamasa's mood grows better when he forges blades. The obsession that cleansed the stain of the name Mikoshi must eat at him. Also, Sir Katsuragi discovered a nameless eccentric while patrolling around Nazuchi Beach. 2. The inspector brought a certain number of jade steel ingots. Sir Katsuragi discussed matters of smithing deep into the night with the vice armory officer. 3. We at last made a single nagamaki. We'll call it the Daitatara Nagamasa. The inspector was in high spirits, and he and the vice armory officer. Nozomu was so taken by the beauty of the Daitatara Nagamasa that he drew a picture of it and performed a sword dance with the wandering eccentric. 4. And we could not find that eccentric. The inspector flew into a rage and slashed Katsuragi. The great blade cut deep into the flesh, cast his own Nagamaki into the furnace flame. Nozomu could not abide by that order, and drew the completely melted weapon out of the furnace. He was horribly burned. 5. Nozomu died that night. I dare say that while Sir Katsuragi may have committed maleficence, it was out of the goodness of his heart. 6. Kijiro hid the Nagamaki in Nozomu's drawing in the arsenal. Nagamasa is harsh, but also knows right from wrong. But even so, he is not amenable to reason. His name indicates one obsessed with purity. Still, Aya and some households of Tartarasuna have not been blinded by the matter of Nagamasa's mother Chiyo, and we trust him. I also remain unwilling to forget the joy of creating the Tatara Nagamasa with him, and the joy of watching the nameless eccentric perform that sword dance with Katsuragi. 7. Before we withdrew, we should have divided the arsenal key into 3 parts, one for the inspector, one for the armory officer, and one to be left in Tartarasuna itself to prevent theft. But we were in too much of a hurry, and neither the inspector nor the armory officer could be found, so I was so bold as to hide the 3 pieces within treasure chests in Tartarasuna. The 7 notes mentioned prior have been scattered across the Tartarasuna area. Among the 7 notes, 6 seem to be of good physical integrity, though they all look quite old, while the last one looks more recent. I believe that the first 6 notes and the last are of different time periods, though the gulf in years between them needs to be verified. The contents of the first 6 should also be related to each other, as the incidents mentioned are quite consistent with one another. Rumi once mentioned in Happily Hidden Tales of Tartarasuna, hereafter known as Hidden Tales, that in the past, researchers from Sumeru had investigated the cultural histories of Tartarasuna and Inazuma. Though the place had fallen to some degree of disrepair since the Hidden Tales were written, things have improved since the time when I wrote my original article. Regardless, what used to be an area of major industry remains a place most inhospitable, and residents of Tartarasuna may be found living and dwelling by the waters. The residents, when questioned, told the researchers of Tartarasuna's golden age centuries ago, when it was administered by Armory Officer Niwa, Vice Armory Officer Miyazaki, and Inspector Mikoshi Nagamasa. Yet the elders among the locals with deeper ties to the region also seemed to stress the fact that there were strange rumors surrounding their homeland's past. A great many of these rumors revolve around the yokai, who are some very characteristic of Inazuma's folk histories. A small portion, however, repeatedly mention the word puppet. It should be known that puppets are neither traditional nor common yokai in Inazuma. This fact drew the attention of the researchers to delve further, and eventually the following pieces of information came to light. A puppet did once appear in Tartarasuna. Its visage was elegant, its apparel impeccable, and the way it dressed hid all the joint lines on its body. If no one were to mention that it was indeed a puppet, it would be hard to tell at all. Additionally, this puppet seemed to possess special joint lines that would fade with time, potentially even disappearing altogether, which would perhaps eventually make the puppet seem entirely human. The name of the puppet was known to almost none. Some folk claimed to have spotted it appearing around Tartarasuna, while others mentioned encountering it in the central regions of the area. Some even claimed that it would frequent the beach. Tales spread of it standing beside the sea and gazing across the waters toward Inazuma City. What it was that the puppet was gazing at remains a mystery. As fucking hell, dude. So much reading. I like reading, but Jesus. As mentioned earlier, the 6 notes all document a certain nameless eccentric. The eccentric, which could be also be read as kabukimono, is usually used in Inazuma to refer to a figure who dresses or behaves in a peculiar manner. It is understandable, therefore, why this character would have left such an impression. Should the people of Tartarasuna indeed have had a puppet in their midst incurring mass panic, a good possibility considering the coexistence between yokai and humans in Inazuma at large, then the puppet would have very likely become a local resident. What is less known is if the kabuki mono was just another title for this puppet. Perhaps because it was uniquely dressed to distract attention from its more special characteristics, a workable theory, but one that still lacks enough evidence to support it. Still, it could be retained as an analytical lens of sort. A list of individuals related to Tartarasuna have been compiled here based on historical documents from Inazuma. Starting from the administrators, the records are as follows. Army Officer Niwa. Full name Niwa Hisahide. He was the inheritor of the Ishin art and the successor to the Niwa clan. His family, along with the Akame and Kadahara clans, were together known as the Ishin Sansaku. Records show that Niwa was a modest and intelligent individual who displayed remarkable talent in the administration of territory and people. His eventual whereabouts are unknown, but he was suspected to have left Tartarasuna with his family following the incident. Vice Army Officer Miyazaki. Full name Miyazaki Kaneo. He was Niwa's second in command. His origins are unknown, and he's primarily assisted Niwa in forging and personal management. He was of affable temperament and had many friends in the region, including one Mikoshi Nagamasa. Inspector Mikoshi Nagamasa. The successor of the Mikoshi clan, adopted son to Oni warrior Mikoshi Chiyo, and the younger adopted brother to Mikoshi Michihiro. Also known as Iwakura the Successor. With his mother missing and abandoned by his brother, Nagamasa alone bore the family name, striving daily to wipe the shame from their history. Though records state that Mikoshi Nagamasa was a stubborn figure, he was also noted to be a person of moral virtue and integrity. It has been noted in various records that he practiced forging swords for self-cultivation and specially requested special instruction from Miyazaki to further his capabilities. However, after the famous blade Daitatara Nagamasa was forged, he used it to slay a subordinate Katsuragi for reasons unknown at present. Subordinate Katsuragi. Katsuragi's full name and background remain unknown. Despite all the materials I've sorted through, I have yet to find any more additional personal information regarding him. As one of Mikoshi Nagamasa's subordinates, he was a loyal warrior who had been saved by Nagamasa in his youth. From then on, he swore to stick by his lord through thick and thin and to give his life in service if it was but asked of him. Kabukimono. Full name unknown. Background unknown. From the many sources I've compiled combined with Rumi's personal observations, this character may have been the puppet mentioned in the rumors. The Kabukimono was a figure of fashionable grace and gentleness. According to the hidden tales, he was brought back to Tartarasuna by Katsuragi and became a member of the community. When the Kabukimono first arrived in Tartarasuna, he knew nothing of cleaning, cooking, or any work of meticulous nature. The locals taught him their skills over time, showing him how to clean his attire, dance, and craft small trinkets. Records state that the Kabukimono was then there when the Daitatara Nagamasa was forged, though his trail ends before Mikoshi Nagamasa slew Katsuragi. I believe that the Kabukimono was indeed the aforementioned puppet, and that he was quite likely had a hand in Katsuragi's death. It seems that the rest of the paper remains unfinished. One thing is for sure, though, a lot of that was put into it.
Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it. Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Yeah, it's a novel, buddy.
Akaba, look, your teacher has researched this extensively. I reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
Leave it to you then.
Stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay.
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
No problem. You guys gonna talk behind her back? Nope.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the
Thanks for the
Balladeers,
hydrate,
doesn't
Blessy.
it?
Yep, it does.
Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh? After all, we
Correct.
kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in...
Hey, what up, Balladeer? What's wrong?
Did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like...
Yes, him. That's the boy that people like for some reason.
The Balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
Did he get locked up? I don't think we did. I think he was in a coma. That's all I could really say. I'm never getting a new iPhone for as long as you live. It'll happen one day, Sporkertons. If I can be in as much debt as I'm in and can get out of it, I believe in you too. Also, if I could read all of that without dying, then I believe in you guys as well. What up, Sage? How's it going? Hey, Nahida, do you know who the Balladeer boy is? I'm pretty sure he's right there. Hello.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Nahida, bad news. We just saw the Balladeer strolling around in public. Did he escape or... Ah, it's him!
Hi, what's up, buddy?
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana? Aren't you supposed to be locked up? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the balladeer free. We made a deal.
Hi,
He's gonna do
Jesus.
some investigation and
You
earn
missed
me
reading.
something.
A lot of reading, both you and Sage.
Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
I don't trust this guy. I'm glad that it's really bad when Paimon's the voice of reason. It's really bad when Paimon's the voice of reason.
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about.
It is all I'm thinking about because you're a dick and you're evil. Stabby, stabby. But you're on my team, so I guess I can't. But also, that's a different version of you. So stabby, stabby.
But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Because Nahida told us not to, and we can't upset small child.
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down?
Fine, small child.
Paimon's worried about you.
He has a nice hat. I'll give him
Don't
that.
let him trick you.
I'll give him that.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us! As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you, considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us.
How did he get out of the
That
coma
puts
so
him in
fast?
Quite a precarious position.
That's my question.
Plus, he's a former harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond. Wait a second. Farmer? You mean he's not a harbinger anymore?
Nope.
I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
You got tossed out like trash, like you are.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be.
Well, what a shame.
Well, if the Fatui are going to reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear.
I object
Don't
too.
you?
That's 3.
And
I
they're your
object.
friends. So I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously! Nahida, don't listen to him! Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch. Nahida, are you serious about this?
Same. All right, so before we continue, I gotta say, because y'all have heard me talk about how much I dislike Scaramouche. Y'all have really heard me talk about how much I dislike Scaramouche. And I want to express something specifically. I talked to Cheese about this because I know Cheese is a huge fan of Scaramouche, but I want to just express this to chat. The concept of Scaramouche being an Niduro antagonist is pretty good, right? Overall, had a really strong story from the beginning all the way till the god part. Should have ended right there. I dislike the character of Scaramouche for reasons that I'm pretty sure we will see in this Archon quest heavily. Leading up to it, I just didn't want him on the team because it was like he's a villain. Doesn't make sense for him to be on the team. So on and so forth. Y'all have heard me say this. But if you want to know why I dislike him as a character in Genshin Impact, we'll see that probably by the end of this quest. That's my thing.
I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit.
For me?
Yes.
Why me?
As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Actually,
That's right.
the whole
See, it was
reason
just
I came
something.
to see you today. So you have an update on that? Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect. The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able to find it more quickly.
But what if he's a liar? Also, this background music, I don't know how many people have played World of Warcraft. Does this sound like the information or the song when you're like dead and you're like near a graveyard?
Exactly. Or
Like in classic WoW. That's what it reminds me of.
Paimon just doesn't trust him. He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him.
True. That's a huge assumption. I also just totally forgot what I just said. I don't remember what I just assumed. I will say I liked him in the beginning. Let it be known. Early on, I did like Scaramouche because of the whole Sky Not Real part. That was cool.
I understand.
After.
But sometimes everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future.
That's a
depends
true
on what
statement.
information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all.
A chili cheese dog.
Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing.
I'm hungry.
A feeling of being all alone in the dark.
Bad
Searching for
face.
the one candle whose light still burns.
Aww.
As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you.
I totally forgot my own explanation. My brain is on the fritz. I'll talk about it later. Okay.
Then it's worth it. It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it.
I'm a hero, guys. I'm amazing. I didn't get my chili cheese dog, though.
This idea. Is there anything we can do to help?
I think Sparks was talking about my explanation for why I dislike the Balladeer.
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection.
Or, you know, Horrorverse was like, hey, you got a Archon quest?
In fact,
Archon quest.
I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned.
So we're babysitting.
Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside.
Sounds good.
Great. Thank you. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to hold all my thoughts for Scaramouche until the end of this, because I know that this is supposed to complete that story loop. So we'll talk about it there, okay?
Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
And everyone can... I already know one thing, though. I do know one thing.
Look at that. Hot on my heels.
We'll get there.
You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Yeah, I was going to be babysitting you, sure.
Jailbird. No way a prisoner gets to be so smug.
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul.
It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You
So it's a
must put
library,
aside your differences
book-wise.
and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through. I know there are many grievances between you on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
Got it.
Fine. Let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
I agree.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are going to be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
He should have had pretty eyes. You're trying to sweet talk me.
Confident. Paimon will
Fuck
give
you.
that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going. Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Now we good. We know about Recruit of... I mean, who knows that?
It's unbearable.
Focus on doing your job.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Is
Trees!
this a small sapling?
I'm going to die.
Ugh! Darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him.
Into the trees we go. Into the trees we go. I can't go in trees because that will end up killing me.
Wow. So
That's a true
this
statement.
is the
Don't worry about it.
inside of Irminsul.
It looks like the abyss.
Ooh.
Nope, never mind.
Paimon's never seen anything
No,
like
it does look like the
this.
abyss.
And it feels like a sacred place.
Cool.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Tevat. Every bit of information flowing here means something.
By the way, do we know if Tevat's like just the continent series, or is that the entire world called Tevat? I think the entire world's called Tevat.
Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Good question.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so say we did go running off in here. What would happen? what are you smirking at?
I think that's a dumb question. I'm on Scaramouche's side for
I was
this.
just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
Okay. Sounds good. Mini trees. It's a mini tree.
These sapling things have spread out.
And the space seems to have been affected
Those are
somehow.
all packets of information
Okay.
from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
Because it's essentially digital information. Been transported to another path. Yeah. So essentially, if you touch a tree, you go onto a different path because it's a different branch, essentially. Okay. But this is a cool kind of area.
Every direction.
Seems the Balladeer is more used to it than I. Well, the Balladeer was kind of connected directly to this, right? Just to confirm, like Balladeer,
No
when he
wonder
was
mentioned about
the
getting
false
lost.
god, like,
What do you know? He was actually telling the truth.
yeah, he essentially was directly connected. It's like a hard jack. It's like for Kenzie in Saints Row
There's a
3
time and
connecting
place to
directly to
lie.
Matt's area.
But this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What
Okay.
a huge tree!
Ether 3! This is the center of Irminsul. All the information of the world is flowing through it.
Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
Also, here's another question, because I guess Chad also knows more about lore than I do in this game. Is Scaramouche has a delusion that's Electro, right? He doesn't have a vision, technically,
He
at this
is
point.
actually doing what
Is that
Nobita
correct?
tells him. Guess he must alive.
Hasn't put up any resistance, and he seems good on working in a front line. Maybe he has a similar role in the Fatui. First Akaba and Sawada's stories. Now this. What a strange individual.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
I will use my mind's eye to remember.
We're the ones with nothing to do.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk?
Nahida, is this a telepathic conversation?
I've also invited Paimon to join.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
Guessing that you don't want us to disturb the balladeer.
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us
So, yeah.
talking
Alright,
like this
gotcha.
once in a while.
Yeah, I don't see it on him, because I was on his shoulder, right?
This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
He respects authority, I think, is the biggest thing. He seems to excel at doing jobs for others.
As I told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers.
This is about his past, the betrayals, and other events in Inazuma,
Well
though?
done. Smart and attentive as always.
Actually, I caught a glimpse of a few things when I ran into Hypatia at part of this dia. What we saw in Balladeer's mind, one party's dia.
So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
He does have emotions, that's
Everyone
true.
has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
True.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident.
So
Do
Tatarasuna,
you know anything about that?
if I'm remembering correctly, I think the only one here who's done it like recently has been Sage. Tatarasuna is the second island where the forge was, right? Or the anvil? Was it like the anvil or something? Because it's where we met the dude who like had to go in and fix it essentially to prevent like Electro from leaking out.
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most
Yeah,
of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps
Something
with their
about that.
imagination.
That's what I figured.
That's what they thought.
But from the past, essentially, from the far past. You tell Nahida about the story Akaba and Sawada were writing.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
So the Gensei got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Which we know that from the one
Must
quest.
be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation.
I mean, we have every right to keep certain things confidential.
Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait, how did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we
Sure,
have to
your
keep the
attitude's better.
peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage.
He's using words I like. He used the word cordial. Shoot, he gained 5 points. Use the word cordial in a conversation with me, and I immediately start liking you more.
Huh?
Wait. It's a tree.
Right. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with us.
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatarasuna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
The name Niwa is the man in charge of Tatarasuna. Plus, it belongs to the lineage of Ishinart.
I have been in Tatarasuna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatarasuna is a warm, welcoming place, like a giant village. People are gainfully employed, their lives have purpose. They are motivated.
I love this guy's hair.
As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatarasuna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown.
So it's like we're learning a little bit more.
Their legacy.
We're learning a little bit more about the Albedo event right here too.
Skills,
Interesting.
blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself.
Yes, well...
Oop, I
Were
accidentally.
it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatarasuna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw
Escher.
much that was commendable in the
Who's
forging
Escher?
industry of Inazuma, and it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected, because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way.
Damn, Sparks. Going in for the jugular.
What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope, but that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
Damn, that's the dullest smile ever. Also, my good sir, homie. We had a joke at work today where I sneezed and my coworker was like, "Bless you, good sir." But I was like, you could have said it like, "Yo, bro, like, bless, man." Like we were saying, but like gangster style, I think. But he mistook me as I'm saying that he said it gangster wise when I was trying to be like, you could have said it like that. And his response was, "Well, bless you, good sir, homie." And it was the funniest thing. And then it evolved to, "Bless you, good sir, homie," from like Marge Simpson.
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
Homie.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi
Buck
is
Escher?
more cautious than I. He does
Interesting.
things by the book.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not
He's got a
little
niff.
overqualified?
He's got a kniffy. He's got a kniffy.
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Drop the act. We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatara Suna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment.
Stabby, stabby. Stabby, stabby.
A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
Bye, Niwa.
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatara Suna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
I heard that. I know that voice,
Kill
right?
me. There's no one
Doctor?
who can get inside the
No.
furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, he fixed it 400 years later.
But you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human. You're just missing a heart.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this? Why go to all this trouble?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully controlled experiment. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity.
Yeah, it is the doctor.
I'm
Go
a
figure.
Fatui harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
And the doctor's been around for 400 years too, or something?
Fatui? Who? What do you want?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet. Make no mistake.
You're taking Niwa's heart
even
and putting it in a
with
Scaramouche.
that
Interesting.
pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Naga
Niwa, you're too kind, but nope. He's not gonna do him. He's not gonna do that.
One of us. He has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones who think.
Yeah, I know. Why would he ever do that? Why would the doctor ever decide to do that?
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope.
Yeah, Niwa's VA is freaking badass,
I
though.
say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa, already dead. What a pity.
No blood. Where's the blood? There, hi, doctor.
Jester, I have completed the task you gave me, creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Hey, are you alright?
Dottore. Dottore. Good. Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine?
Yeah, he's behind Tatarasuna.
Why did we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so. But it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you.
So Niwa was
He
the
never
friend who
meant for you
died.
to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
His betrayal was a lie that has been believed for hundreds of years. Was this part of the doctor's experiment? The betrayal never happened, it existed only in his imagination, but where does this leave him?
Give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now.
Yeah, we'll walk over there.
Give him some time to process his emotions.
He's not good at dealing with emotions, I've learned.
I'm still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as a mechanic from
So that the
Fontaine.
review, for those who were not paying attention.
It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future.
All right, so TLDR, for those who didn't pay attention, who don't even know, who don't really care, and that's perfectly fine. Like, just being honest, that is perfectly okay. Essentially, when Scaramouche was first a puppet and first like coming to and everything and figuring out how life worked, met a friend. Friend was Niwa. They were super close. Same with Katsuragi. Katsuragi was also a friend. He trusted all of them. Niwa died by the doctor. The heart of Niwa, filled with hate and fury, put into Scaramouche, or the puppet. Puppet told, hey, you should do this thing for Tatarasuna. It'll help it. This is what your friend Niwa wanted. Also, here's a heart. Totally not Niwa's, but here it is. Puts it in, makes him human. Kind of human. To which Scaramouche is like, yo, Oh, I'm a human. Let's go. I'll do it because Niwa's my friend. Thank you for the heart. Random stranger does the thing. It does horrible things. Scaramouche is like, my friend's a piece of shit. Emotions go unstable. He has the heart filled with hate and fury, so that's all he kind of feels. Doctor's like, awesome, bro. Welcome to the team. You're an asshole. We're assholes. But you have an asshole heart filled with asshole thoughts. And your head is a puppet that we can manipulate. So let's fuck you up emotionally and traumatically. And this is what happened.
The unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the balladeer became the main test subject.
Okay.
After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then he instructed him to enter the furnace
So if you
and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it had protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the balladeer threw the heart to the ground.
Oh, he never took the heart. Okay. So he's still a puppet. Still puppet boy.
Holy. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
Being betrayed and abandoned by a close friend is sure to cause great resentment. Now we know what was behind his decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden 100 years ago. But it doesn't mean that the vengeance was the right decision.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Mystery of Tatar Thuna!
You brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
We don't like Tator. Fuck Tator. Okay, so Tator is our new villain.
See how he's doing?
Yo, boy, you fine?
Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend.
We just want to make sure it doesn't affect the plan.
I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here.
He just
But
accidentally
unfortunately,
stumbled.
There's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Teyvat.
Sounds right. Okay.
Does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
No, I
Don't thank
didn't
me
expect it,
just
but still
yet.
thank you.
You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Okay.
About what?
The reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world. Plus, he only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
Interesting.
The jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your brother for a time.
So Jester's another Fatui
I don't
Harbinger?
know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe.
We haven't met him yet.
All I can
For
say
them.
is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me.
What do you want to know?
Give me your hand.
Okay, I guess we have no choice. You're in a shield. Exclamation mark!
Can you hear my voice inside your head?
You trying to brainwash me?
No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past?
Wait, why would you ask that?
Done.
Huh? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
We were holding hands, we were getting along.
Nothing. I was just thanking her for helping me.
Wait, that look, do you see me hesitate? But that was because I know about Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. Oh, I think by not denying it immediately, I gave him the answer. Oh, God!
I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Yo, we have to stop him!
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again.
That's weird, you're on my team, dude. But I don't know what you're doing. Okay, bye. Bye.
From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow.
I don't think that's gonna work, Paimon. He's kind of in a tree. Yeah, he's in a tree. I'm allergic to trees, so I can't really do that. I think we're fucked. I think he became a tree.
He's really gone.
Who's on my team right now?
Oh, can you hear me?
Nihita!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power.
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
You tell Nita everything that happened. He's a tree man now. Tree man!
Be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated?
Excuse me.
Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault.
Tree
Keep an eye
man!
on him.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here.
He's got tree power.
I'm not sure I can solve it.
Such as killing Kit.
We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
Okie dokie. All right, we left Irminsul. That was great. I followed the instructions perfectly. Photosynthesis powers.
And we're at, an inn or something?
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you.
But I want to help. I'm a good person.
I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me.
Okay.
An emergency? How bad is it? Nihita, will you be okay?
I hope so.
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster. Please rest and recover your strength here until I say it's safe.
Okay.
His voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab onto you before?
Paimon doesn't remember Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, and the Balladeer's question was a strange one. It's hard to explain in full, and the truth might be very distressing for Paimon. I'll skip the part about Greater Lord Rukkhadevata for now and focus on the Balladeer. You tell Paimon what the Balladeer asked you and what he might be been planning.
He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible.
It's not easy, that's for sure.
You can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened already in real life.
Good question.
Imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it.
Sure, great example. Do you remember the Greater Lord Rika Nevada? Pretty sure if you remember Greater Lord Rika Nevada.
Why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared about what he might do. Paimon's so confused.
Maybe he wants to erase himself from history. That works for me. Paimon, are you okay?
Sorry. Paimon accidentally... It's the Balladier's fault for causing Paimon all this mental stress. But erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible and earnestful?
I'm just guessing here. Oh, do you know Ruka Nevada? Crazy person.
Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand what he's up to. And it's still not working. Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him. There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too?
Indeed, if the Baladier does erase himself from memory assault, many people in Inazuma will be affected. I can't imagine what that situation would look like. Worst case scenario, if it will affect everyone with a connection to the Raiden Gokuden. Kazuha, Ayaka, Ayato. Will this mean that they'll disappear?
There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next?
Nope.
Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so worried. Paimon won't be able to sleep a wink tonight.
Me neither.
So, how about, we list all our favorite foods to
Perfect.
take our mind off things.
Goldfish
That
crackers.
doesn't work. Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here.
Sunflower seeds. Holy shit, there's still Kit Kats in here. Kit Kats! Perfect.
Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish. Oh, and chicken mushroom skewers. Tea break pancakes. Cream stew. Sauteed matsutake.
I don't like listening to Paimon.
Chicken. Almond tofu. Satisfying salad. Oh, also Adeptus Temptation. Golden shrimp balls. Triple layered consomme. Lotus seed and bird egg soup. And...
I'm hungry now. What's wrong, Paimon?
What was Paimon supposed to be doing just now? Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking about. What was it again?
Well, you're getting so worried about the situation with the Baladier that you started listing foods.
The Baladier? Is that a food too? Huh. Weird name, though.
He did it! The boy did it! He removed himself from history! Paimon doesn't remember the Baladier? That must mean he actually pulled it off. How did he have the ability? That doesn't make any sense.
What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said?
Nope.
So, the Baladier. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something.
If this really is happening, I need to know what else changed. Paimon, come with me.
Okay, sure. Where are we going?
I want to go back to Inazuma.
Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay? You're acting like this is an emergency.
Yeah, it's not the time to explain. Let's go. Dude just erased himself. Hi, I'm still here. Congratulations. We did it. He's still around. Can you all believe it? Crazy stuff. I don't exist anymore. I don't exist anymore. Let's go talk to people since I don't exist anymore. Crazy. Whee. He's here.
We made it to Hananoma Smithy.
Ah, it's been a while.
Pardon me if I'd like to ask a question if I may.
Of course. Go ahead.
About the Raiden Gokuden. Can you tell me the story?
Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. Very well. I'll tell you what I know once more. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Aminoma, Futsu, Ishin,
Yishin's still there.
and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions.
Okay.
Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline. And for
So much
a
has
long
really
time,
changed, it looks like.
only the Amenoma branch kept its art alive. But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. Now, 2 clans remain of the original Gokuden 5. If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, we were. Paimon remembers that now.
That was an event, I'm pretty sure.
The decline of the Raiden Gokuden then too. It seems
I think that was an
such a
event.
shame.
Maybe not. What was the reason behind their decline?
That, my friends, is a tragic tale indeed. In fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause. Only recently, when the question was on my mind, did I ask Kaedehara Kazuha about this. He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokuden, it was right that I should know the truth.
Okay.
There's no harm in telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark and sorrowful tale. The Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster.
Okay.
Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized.
So he couldn't bring Niwa back to life, which I think is
Neither
his
of them
goal.
made it out. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphan son was left to fend for himself, and grew up deeply resentful at the world. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty Shogun
So,
for apparent indifference towards his father's death.
so Niwa's this
He
now?
hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him. Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer, and yet he could do nothing to change it.
Damn.
Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent anger and shake the very foundations of Inazuma's forging industry. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately.
Damn it.
killing
Damn.
the
This guy go
Blade
crazy.
Clan which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokuden.
You get slashed, and you get slashed, and you get
But when he
slashed.
came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life.
Damn.
That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were the lucky ones, under the dire circumstances.
The legend of the Raiden Gokuden has changed. Someone else attacked the swordsmiths. It looks like the Balladeer did something in Erminsul, but it seems Niwa still died.
Is there anything else you wanted to ask?
You seen Kazuha recently?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. We spoke for a while over some tea. He seemed well.
Here, so he still exists, and he's the same Kazuo I know. Things don't seem as bad as I feared last night. That's all. Thank you very
My
much.
pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? Your expression says it all. You can't hide anything from Paimon.
Oh, we're hiding a lot.
The next stop. Lead the way, traveler. Paimon will be right behind you.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Real quick, by the way, test of courage. Test of courage, everybody. Test of courage. We're going to take a brief break from this.
As an umbrella? The audacity to even make
Hi,
that
Ayato.
request.
Hey, I know that everything seems kind of crazy, but how's this test of courage? Long time no see.
It's you two. Yes, it has been a while.
We heard the Ashero Commission is holding a test of courage, so we came right over to sign ourselves up. We didn't expect to see you here in person, though. Does that mean this event is really important?
How's it
I
going?
think
A little
I only make an
sidetracked.
appearance
Whoops.
For occasions that are deemed sufficiently important.
It's nice to see
It
Ayato,
just so
though.
happens that this test of courage event was actually my suggestion. But naturally, I
Hey,
left the
fun
planning and more
times!
trifling details to be arranged by my retainers. Considering that such events are quite popular across Teyvat, I've had numerous examples to draw from, so everything should be in good order. I'm merely here to do a routine check on the progress of the event. That's all.
Sounds great.
Paimon gets it. So what you're saying is you're not very busy right now. In that case, maybe you can give us a quick rundown of the event rules.
Hooray!
Only Paimon could be so natural at ordering others around. However, the possibility remains that we may yet require your assistance.
Oh, what's going on?
What did you say?
Nothing. Seeing as I apparently have some time, I suppose we may chat about the event for a moment.
Sounds good. Thanks,
As its
Ayato.
name implies, the event is a game designed to put one's courage to the test. The venue for the event will be set up in the Chinju Forest. Before the start of each round, participants will be divided into teams of 2.
Sounds good.
Once teams have been formed, the event staff will announce the name of an item that has been placed in or around the Chinju Forest area. The first person to locate the specified
Yay,
item
fun
will be
event!
declared
Fun
the winner
event!
of that round.
It's hide and seek, but finding items.
So there's gonna be multiple rounds to the test of courage?
Precisely. There will be a total of 3 rounds in the Test of Courage because the event was actually orchestrated by 3 different parties.
Sounds good.
Merchants raised event funding, the Kamisato clan provided the grounds, and the Grand Narukami Shrine provided consulting services. As
Hooray!
such,
Consulting.
Each of these 3 parties have selected one item for participants to find. So, naturally, the event will require 3 rounds to determine the winners.
Paimon gets it. So basically, it boils down to searching for stuff in Chinju Forest. We'll need to find one item each round for a total of 3 items after 3 rounds. Huh. Simple enough for Paimon.
Hell yeah.
Yes, so you got the gist of it. We will be issuing different rewards based on the number of rounds won. So, if a participant wins multiple rounds, then that will also be reflected in their final reward.
Sounds
If a
great. I'll win all
participant
3.
manages to find all 3 items, then they shall receive the grand prize provided by the Grand Narukami Shrine.
Ooh, a grand prize? Sounds like it could be really valuable.
It's a Miss
As
Goro.
for its true
Miss
value, I'm afraid you'll
Asahina,
have to
whatever
win
the name
event
their name
first
was.
and ask Lady Guji yourself. Of course, this event is intended to measure
Except no
your
eggs inside
courage.
Easter. Sad.
If you withdraw
So
from the
sad.
event because you become too frightened, then you might as well forget about seeing any rewards. I'm curious myself how many people will be brave enough to make it to the end. It'll be most disappointing if nobody claims the prizes we've prepared.
Prizes.
Prizes are as good as ours. Even though just the thought of this event sends shivers down Paimon's little spine. The traveler will be
Meanwhile,
brave
time
enough
is
to
going
get that
crazy in the
back.
background. That's
I
right.
appreciate your enthusiasm. I look forward to seeing how you perform. Anyway, I think I've given you sufficient details. I'll add your
Thank you,
names to the
Blassie.
list of
Appreciate it.
participants momentarily. As for the 3 items you'll be searching for, please wait for a staff member to inform you at the start of the event. Oh, and a friendly word of advice. Test of Courage events tend to give rise to a variety
Thank you,
of strange
Jesus.
rumors
Appreciate
and
it.
stories. So please, be sure to exercise caution.
Whoa,
I love
what
caution.
do you mean by that? Oh, will there be
I can't do this. I'm too scared. It's certainly a possibility.
Oh, now even you're trying to scare Paimon. Anyway, we got an event to win. Grand prize, here we come.
Great. Test of courage. All right. Leave the Yashiro Commission. Okay. We'll be back in a moment. Hi, Ito. How's it going? Hey, what up?
Right there. Oh, well, if it isn't my compadres. Didn't expect to see you here.
What up, Ito?
Paimon knows that voice. It's Ito! What are you doing here? Oh, wait, don't tell Paimon you're here for the test of courage.
Of course he is.
What else? I'm sorry, but those prizes already belong to yours truly. Arataki.
Thank you, Sporkertons. Appreciate you and your ducks.
Well, that's what I really want to say. But I have actually got something else going on.
Dude's got AOs.
It's a long story. As soon as I heard about the test of courage, I got the gang together and was ready to bring everyone for the time of their lives. But it turns out the other members weren't as pumped about the event as me.
Sounds about right.
Shinju Forest? We've already been there 1,000,000 times. There's nothing scary about that place. That event's just a game for kids. What a waste of time. Let's play some genius invocation TCG.
Let's go, TCG! Sorry.
Seriously, test of courage? Ugh, whatever. I guess if that's what the boss wants. Can you believe that? What a group of deadbeats. I'm not gonna put up with that. Nuh-uh, not in my gang.
Oh, Paimon gets it now.
What up, Ketsi? How's it going?
The gang to an event they
Over in
don't
the
wanna go
YouTube chat.
to won't be the best for your reputation as a leader.
Hey, this isn't about me. As leader of the Arataki gang, it's my duty to find new and tantalizing experiences for everyone. A happy gang means a happy life. Even if they can't get it through their stubborn heads now, one way or another, I'll show them how much fun a test of courage can be.
You really care about them, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm no stranger to Shinju Forest. Sure, it was a little terrifying going through there, but hey, I'm used to it now. Like, seriously, what kind of scary pranks could those guys in the Yashiro Commission ever come up with? If they can't scare anyone, then it's not going to be a test of courage, now is it? Not to mention, if the gang starts complaining, I won't ever be able to show my face around here.
And after all that talk, it still boils down to you.
Hell yeah.
Well, leading a gang can be complicated, you don't understand. Anywho, I've got a plan. Since there's no way I can trust the Yashiro Commission to make a fun event, I've decided to step in and spice things up a little.
Wait, you don't seriously mean that?
Oh, you bet I do. Yours truly is gonna be out scaring people.
Let's go.
I'm taking
Scary
this event to a whole
times.
nother
Scary.
level. But it's gonna take more than an Oni to make it happen. So I came here to recruit some help. And then I saw you come walking
I'm sure it didn't wake up to my alarm. That's
Come
fair.
on, come scare people with me.
No way!
Pretty please?
Forget it!
Pretty please?
Pretty, please.
Fine. But don't forget, we're here to win the test of courage and take home the grand prize. We'll help you out, just don't get in the way of our prize.
Yes! You're a real Oni saver. Hey, don't worry, with me around, winning the test of courage will be a piece of cake. All right, those participants won't scare themselves. Let's get out there.
What a noisy guy. But after hearing him laugh and talk, Paimon doesn't feel scared anymore. Huh. Maybe laughter is the key to making fear go away. If things get scary later, we can all start laughing at the top of our lungs.
I'm pretty sure that makes it scarier. Have you ever heard of the dancing plague in France?
Hey, Traveler, Paimon, enough chit-chat. We're gonna miss the event.
Coming!
No, we're not. We're turning our ass right back around. Hi, person that we have not talked to ever yet. We'll talk to you later. Hold on. I have to see if everything changed. Hold on. We'll go back. Backwards.
This is the Yashiro Commission's headquarters, so...
Traveler, it's been a while.
Hello.
If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate. They're not here right now.
What is your
Are they
voice?
out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until they get back.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
Oh, thank you. We'll take you up on the offer. Can we take a walk
If
in the
it were
courtyard?
anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I think it should be okay.
We'll be heading in then.
I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. He talks so nice.
Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say?
Can I ask a few questions?
Of course, traveler. Yes, I know who you are.
We're famous.
Miss
We're so
Kamisato
famous.
has told me about you. What would you like to know?
How are the Commissioner Miss Kamisato these
they're
days?
both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending all kinds of meetings and occasionally paying visits to some local organizations on the Commissioner's behalf. As for the Commissioner himself, well, you know, busy as
With her little flower pin in her
that
hair?
much hasn't
True.
changed. Although,
Wait, are you talking about me?
does
Fulica
seem
is
to be
rather
a
attractive.
rather good,
So,
Oh, sorry.
much business as usual in the Yashiro Commission, huh?
very much so.
I was still in the Yashiro Commission. Arca is still the Lady of the House. No changes there. As far as I can see, nothing's changed in the Yashiro Commission either. I was expecting as much, but it's still a big relief to know that the Kamisato siblings are both safe and well.
Got any more questions?
That's all for now. Many
You're
thanks.
very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more than for you to come and visit more often. But I'm sure you must be far too busy to have time for that. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a friend, and she's always saying how talented you are and how much she admires you. I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since you arrived here. So you're not just Miss Kamisato's knight in shining armor, you know. You're a hero to us all.
I'm flattered.
I mean it. Whenever the Commissioner dines at home, Toma always joins
Toma's
him.
around still. That's
I
good.
find myself at my most relaxed when I'm serving the two of them and listening to them chat away. The Commissioner has such a busy schedule that he doesn't always have the chance to take his meals at home. But given the opportunity, he always prefers to dine here. They say it's because Toma is a much better chef than most. Oh, the Commissioner is so fond of home comforts.
That's good.
They get to talking about you sometimes too, you know. Always with a
We're so
very
popular.
fond
Toma!
tone. The way one would talk about dear old friends around whom one can truly be themselves. Miss Kamisato occasionally joins them as well. Whenever the whole family gets together and they start talking about people they've met and experiences they've had, you always get a mention. It's been many years now since the late Mr. and Mrs. Kamisato passed away. Much has happened in the Kamisato clan in that time.
How much?
As someone who is old and gray enough to have watched their son and daughter grow up, it makes me so happy to see them meet a dependable friend whose company they enjoy so much. So, in the future, if you ever do have the time, please know you are always very welcome at the Yashiro Commission headquarters. There will always be at least one old lady who would be delighted to have the pleasure of your company.
Thank you. The people of the Kamisato clan are very dear friends to me. Also, if you want to know a secret, ma'am, did you know that this flower is actually impaled directly into my brain? That's why the stem changes color. How about that, Blossie? How's that for a flower pin?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Electro!
Paimon likes it here
Dendro!
too. Also, you were saying something
Pyro!
about the food here being really great. Paimon's itching to try it. We may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner sometime. Paimon meant we should come pay a visit again real soon. Ideally around dinner time.
Of course. You're always welcome.
Alright, goodbye for now. Where are we going next?
To Tarazuna.
Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry, we'll see ourselves out.
All right, then. Take care now. Hope to see you soon.
We could turn it pink in a future Blossy.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything's taken care of now. Don't worry.
Very well. Safe travels. Goodbye.
Bye! Hi, I'm the Balladeer. Do you know who I am? Hi, I'm the Balladeer. Hi! I don't exist yet.
Too slow. The wind rises.
Wee! Wee! Excuse me? I need you to fall down here. Oh, I knocked on somebody's head.
Here we are. But
Who did I knock onto?
for something or someone.
Do my eyes deceive me?
Xavier! Yo!
Paimon.
What up, Xavier? I'm sorry I gave you a head trauma.
What are you doing here?
I'm sorry, did you just say Xavier? I'm sorry, did Paimon just say Xavier? It's Xavier.
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me. So what about you two?
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Do you know much about Tarazuna?
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away.
How do you understand the history of this area?
Like the back of my hand. Make no mistake, I have been here a good many times before. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. They said it's all true, the history here.
I'm listening.
Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? The tale of Tatarasuna starts a long time ago. I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation, goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way.
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then too.
Sounds
They
familiar,
say he
yeah.
was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long way. How about that?
The mechanic kind of looks like the doctor would still sabotage the furnace, leading to all the ensuing chaos.
Weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about
It
the
is
furnace
Xavier!
here?
What the fuck is Xavier?
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like we've been preparing for a history exam or something.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for historical knowledge?
Pretty much. Can I ask one more
Sure,
question?
Go ahead.
Have you ever heard of the Kabuki Mono connected to Tarazuna?
Kimono? No, I can't say that I have. I do know the word. Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to meet, actually. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a Kabuki Mono where Tatarasuna is concerned.
So there's no more Kabuki Mono. Did the Balladeer really manage to erase himself from history completely? If so, he must have wanted to change the world and revert everything back to the way it was, but so far it looks like the majority of changes have only affected himself. Thanks,
Of
Xavier, I
course,
guess.
Don't mention it.
Oh,
I hate that your name is Xavier.
okay. Bye, Xavier.
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy to help. Farewell.
Bye.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for.
I'm gonna go back and see the Saludo
Sure,
Sonali.
but what's up with you today? Whatever it is, it seems like it's really troubling you. Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what happens, Paimon will always be there for you.
Sure, Paimon, thanks.
Don't mention it. Alright, let's head off and go meet Nahida.
Paimon seems a lot more echoes of history. Crazy. Let's go to Sumeru. Hi. Hello. I don't exist yet. Hello.
Hey, it's them.
What's up? Please tell me I'm not reading some more. Please tell me I'm not reading more.
You're still here?
You still talk about the essay?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
I don't know. I don't want to read. Please. Please don't.
It's the same topic we discussed last time. Obviously.
Still looking for more info about Tatara Suna, huh? Should we join them?
Perfect. These two have researched Tatara Suna's past. Let's hear what they have to say.
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress.
The article that you read last time was great. Can we read it again?
Of course.
Hold on. I'm skimming through it. I'm skimming through it. I'm reading through it again. I'm just reading through it briefly. Okay, some of the passages have been removed. Yeah, some of the passages have been removed. Oh, here we go. A great many of these rumors revolved around the yokai, who were so very characteristic of Inazuma's folk histories. A small portion, however, repeatedly mentioned the word outsider. It should be known that the appearance of such a character who is suspected to be based on a real person is a very curious case. This fact drew the attention of the researchers to delve further, and eventually the following pieces of information came to light. A foreign mechanic once visited Tatara Suna. Reportedly, the reason for his immigration was to exchange knowledge and forge ties with the locals. However, the mechanic seemed to behave suspiciously, often wandering around essential and restricted areas. And if someone tried to turn him away, they would only earn some incomprehensible mumbles from his lips. The mechanic often stared into the furnace, seemingly to check on his condition, and suddenly, he also spent a substantial amount of time watching the local residents. Judging from the era, it was not uncommon to see cross-cultural exchanges of technical knowledge in places such as Tatara Suna. After traveling across the tides, foreign experts being welcome in the region was not unreasonable either. Yet calamity came not long after this exchange of knowledge, which hints at high potential for causation between these events. However, some current residents believe that these assumptions were merely the results of their forebears' overactive imaginations attempting to theorize how things actually unfolded. We also now know about the mechanic. Long have I delved through many texts and documents, but I was ultimately unable to decipher even a specter of a clue as to his background. Still, mentions of the mechanic grew scarcer in the aftermath of the Tatara Suna incident. I speculate that instead of a mechanic possibly being a figure woven from overripe imaginations, he actually did exist, and perhaps even had a hand in the events that took place in Tatara Suna.
I presume you'll want to read mine as well. Here.
Alright, some new stuff. Miyazaki hid his grin upon hearing this. Niwa released the blizzard from his hand into Katsurugi's palm. But just as more words were to be exchanged, someone caught him walking nearby, their footsteps steady and confident. The head that appeared by the door was that of one from abroad. The newcomer placed some lunchboxes to one side, nodded, and made to leave. Katsuragi called out to him, "Sir, what about your meal? Are you not hungry?" The man smiled upon hearing Katsuragi's words. "I already ate. I hope that you, my lords, may also find time to sate your hunger soon." "You are our guest, sir. To see you help in these trifling matters fills me with embarrassment," Niwa said with sincerity. The man smiled as if it was no matter. Then with a nod, he departed. And to Expert 2, like a falling spear, the black cloud reached the bottom of the boat and was joined in the bereftness of direction. Like a charging beast, they plunged into the shorelines. Scant steps away, the mechanic laughed, slowly approaching by the grand wreck. Not but half an arm was left of one who cried out for help, and with it a plop. It landed at the mechanic's feet, who crouched to better study the object, straining against the urge to take a bite. Yet he did not, for the dark cloud swirled dark down. He had already picked the remnants of the ship clean. Excerpt 3, then a second ship was sent, followed by a third and fourth. Each who left it to seek salvation did not so under foul skies and bleak fortunes. Reason dictated that they should have not risked anyone else, but the situation at Tatara Suna was severe. They needed to gain aid from Inazuma, even if it should cost more lives. So essentially, the balladeer was replaced with a mechanic. The content has changed. Another effect of tampering with the information in Erminsul. The balladeer said he erased 2 of his names. If he really succeeded, it must have taken all of his might, but still.
Well, what do you think?
A masterpiece!
Remember the last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma. So how about we tell them what we learned?
Sure.
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in Inazuma.
Here's all the stuff about the Raiden Gokuden and Tatara Suna's history.
Wow. So many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Amanoma clan, you say? Then I guess it must be true.
Yeah, first-hand experience.
So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days, to the extent that harming them was conceived of, at least by the perpetrator, as a way of exacting revenge against those in power.
Okay.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that doesn't mean I can't carry on with my novel.
And they're back at it. These guys are really into this.
Yeah, I got some things to take care of. Bye.
I'm so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you. Thank you so much for the information.
You're welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do.
Nope. I don't want to talk to y'all ever again, please. Hi, I'm the Wanderer. Don't have a name yet. Kind of weird, isn't it? What's a name? Do y'all know what a name is? What's a name? Hi, my name is Nothing. Pleasure to meet you.
Nahida, we're here.
Hi.
Traveler, Paimon, how have you been?
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then she decided she wanted to go to Inazuma.
Do you know about the Balladeer?
Balladeer? It sounds like some kind of code name.
Alright, fuck it. Oh no.
You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me?
Even Nahida doesn't remember, just like last time. Any changes to Irminsul affect her as well. Balladeer acted quickly. He finished erasing himself before Nahida could stop him. I'm the only one who still remembers the things that were erased. Once again, I am the record keeper.
Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
There are things that have happened that only I can remember. I have to tell you the truth. With a heavy heart, he pieced back together the story that was broken and scattered across time. My name is Redacted, or my friend told me has train horn. There was one named the Balladeer, created by the Electro Archon. He was a puppet who lived among men. After a series of events in Tarsuna, the Balladeer, thinking he had thrice betrayed, left Inazuma to roam the world beyond. With no trust for humans and only loathing for the gods, he bore his grudge for years as he grew in strength, then returned to Inazuma to take his revenge. He tried in vain to become a deity with a gnosis and ended up losing everything. Finally, he entered Irminsul and learned the truth beyond his betrayal. Knowing now that his entire life was built on lies, he did the unthinkable in an attempt to reverse his tragic fate.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past.
Correct.
How was he even able to do that?
As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality.
Yep.
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because he literally changed the world?
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But I'm struggling to imagine the kind of person who would dare go through with it. The traveler comes from a world beyond Tevat. That's why there's no information about her in Irminsul. And it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect her.
Yep, because we're
If there's
special.
anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
You can say that again. I know things that I'm not supposed to tell you about, ever.
Understanding this Balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it?
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was, only you remember that.
I'm not really sure. We never got off on the right foot, and I hate him still. We're enemies after all. I don't know his perspective on all this, so I can't say why he did something so extreme. Did he want to reset everything or save someone, or did he want to completely undo his existence? Everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once for all. Maybe that's all there is to it. I still remember the question he asked. He asked me specifically, and my hesitation gave him his answer. I hesitated because I witnessed Greater Lord Rukadevada erase her own existence, but I can't tell Nahida that. To put it another way, I know why the Balladeer was so sure it could work, but I can't tell them
Something
that.
else worrying you? Something that you can't share?
He chose such a radical option, and yet...
Couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right?
Yep.
Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. The story makes sense. Every part of it. The balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself, even though he didn't have much strength left.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friends. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
Yeah, he changed the world in many ways, yet the dead still didn't get a second chance. Those fated to a tragic end could not be saved. What exactly did he want to fight back against? The betrayals in his life, or did he wish he never existed at all?
Please wait a moment. I want to check something.
I hate this type of storytelling. I hate this type of storytelling. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything she has told us.
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Alright, inside the box, surprisingly the information is presented to you in a way that resembles a fairy tale.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
This matches everything I said.
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy tale? That somehow has something to do with the balladeer?
When combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
The past? Not the past future, but the past.
Any information about the balladeer or the kabuki mono and other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the balladeer entered Irminsul.
Smart.
That's incredible! What a great idea!
And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew she'd remember everything. This story is abstract.
So many parallel universes.
With the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one she told us. The now erased life of the balladeer.
Dang. So, balladeer be erased from the world.
There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them. But the monster soon found
This is so
solace
funny.
when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a
Yo,
white
what up?
tree,
I like
who
this
had been
outfit.
abandoned by the humans.
I love the monster.
The kitten
I love the
too
monster.
wished to
It's
become
so
a fox,
cool.
But its tail was too slender, and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort.
I
to
love
the
this so
kitten.
much.
Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the
Monster
mountain.
doesn't look dumb. The monster looks
The
cute.
terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you
Among
can
us?
help us
No, I'm
find
just
a way
kidding.
to solve this."
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after.
Wow.
After burying the bird,
Sad stories everywhere
Paimon left
today.
the mountain for good.
So many sad stories.
Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness.
Yep, correct, Bossy.
Then it would finally be
Correct.
peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then
I don't think Nahida's
no one will
the
know that there
bird.
were once
Maybe
birds,
Rukadavada.
foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
Good fairy tale.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god.
Oh,
He
Niwa,
was
Niwa.
experimented on
I get you, I
and
get you.
modified countless times.
Sick child.
It was
I think it's
brutal
Niwa, actually.
torture, and
No,
the
Niwa's the
only
dead
reason
guy.
he
Never mind.
was able to survive is that he was a puppet. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
Yep.
The balladeer agreed to
Kind
help
of.
me look for information about the descenders.
Whatever.
And although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail. That Conria was where your twin first came into this world.
Correct.
We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own harbinger.
It feels like life is as insignificant as a feather.
Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around.
I still don't like this guy.
Still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended. That's better.
I mean, that's fair, but also I don't like him.
Alone cannot
Still.
answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the question still troubles us. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny.
My
To others
destiny.
looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination.
I mean, that's fair,
And
yeah.
that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahida's right. Cheer up. How about we go get something to eat? We can pick up this heavy conversation again later.
Good idea.
Convenience?
Paimon, why don't you take her out for a walk to clear her
Do I
head?
pity him? Yes. Do I like him? No. That's a good way to put it.
Come on, traveler. You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking a walk.
Will I? Something tells me that I'm not going to.
Stalls in the Grand Bazaar. That'll be sure to lift our spirits.
Grand Bazaar time, my favorite. Grand Bazaar?
Must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
Don't worry, my name's the Wanderer. Don't worry about it. It's not like we're gonna run into him or anything at all while we're going to get food. No, silly, right? Absolutely silly. What would make you think that? Running into somebody who looks like me? Crazy. Crazy.
We're here! What should we eat first?
I have a nagging feeling like there's something I'm missing, something important that I'm forgetting.
Are you gonna answer or what?
Sorry, it's just give me a minute. I'm still processing.
Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat.
Come on, brain. Let's take this out. It's got to be in there somewhere. It was something about Irminsul, about deleting oneself. Greater Lord Rukadevada, Forbidden Knowledge, Nahida.
Have you figured it all out?
Yes, that was it. Greater Lord Rukadevada. She said that no one can erase themselves from existence, not even her. Otherwise, why would she need to create her own reincarnation of Lesser Lord Kusanali to do the deletion for her? That would be no point.
Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
No, I can't tell Paimon. She doesn't know about the Greater Lord Rukadevada. But this is a crucially important detail. It's simply not possible for the Balladeer to completely erase his own existence, in which case the question is, what happened to him?
Excuse me, boss. There seems
Hi,
to be a small
crazy!
problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Interesting. You're very brightly colored. It's like we were... what? We ran into the Balladeer? Crazy.
Hey! Hey, wait!
Hmm? You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsettias and ran off. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? Work's too boring for you? Or has the big city got too many distractions?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that guy? You know him or something?
That guy is the Balladeer.
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when
That's
I
why
actually
as
give you
the
some work
vision.
to do,
Okay, makes sense,
you
makes
keep
sense.
letting yourself get distracted. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon I won't be able to afford to.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outsider like me.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsettias, and I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver a fruit bowl this evening.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment. I'll be right back.
Stop.
He still's got that Masato haircut.
I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But I figured you'd start asking for something in return eventually. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights. Are you a drifter or something?
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsettias, was it? I'll be right back.
Hey, what do we do now?
Let's follow him.
Stay out of sight. Don't let him see you.
Why? It's not gonna matter. Oh, the person you just saw.
Too slow.
No, I like the Masato haircut. I also, I like how he looks. Like, don't get me wrong. I think his outfit, the shorts are a little... I just don't like shorts. But... I don't think Cheese is here anymore, but, I told Cheese a lot of the reasons why I don't like him and what I suspect. It's a big assumption. I think that's what Sage was referring to earlier, but there is more, and I get the feeling we are getting to that point of the specific part of storytelling I dislike. People do.
Even though you say he's the Balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsettias? Isn't that a bit too cruel?
Josh!
All right.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them back.
If I wasn't seeing this with my own eyes, I would never believe it.
You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
He spotted us.
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice.
You're right, we were following you.
Have we met before? No, we haven't met. But you know me?
Yes.
I have no recollection.
It's complicated, but I do know you.
Are you absolutely sure?
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
You can prove it. You're a puppet.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
You were right. The look on his face.
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important.
There's somewhere I want to take you, friend.
But please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it. Is that true?
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm, and he let me take shelter in his cart.
I like the
In
new hat,
return,
though. New hat's
I
nice.
said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's oddly nice of you.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
All right.
Let's return to the city.
So he's going to just put off the Sunsetias and do all that sort of stuff. Turn to the grocery stall. So...
Quit following me. Too slow.
obviously he has still has his attitude and everything as the Wanderer, so like, well, there's probably stuff that's gonna happen here soon. However, I want to make, like, at the end of this, if it's truly what I think it is, if it's absolutely 100% what I fully think it is, then I'll explain
Here you go,
everything.
boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry,
It's
boss.
gonna be go back to that soon,
I'm afraid
Blasi.
I'll
I'm
be
pretty
away from the
sure.
stall for a while.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that you don't want any pay for it. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was raining. Imagine you were me for a second.
You're
It's a
Jerry
little
Ball
weird,
last. That's
right?
fair. That's fair, Blasi.
Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know, you should go live your life.
But I don't...
You don't know about your life.
No, you're right. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thank you again for taking me into the city.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years. I just hope you find your path.
Thank you. All right, done. Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
Sounds good. Have you met Nahida? Also, this is probably the end of the quest that we're about to go to. What a rushed quest! Hold on, like, I would like to, like, kind of explore more of, like, his Wanderer personality before he undoubtedly gets it back, right? Like, this seems so... Okay. I know I'm being harsh. I'm trying not to. I'm sorry.
Too slow.
It's a bias of mine. I'll explain later.
What's wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello. I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything. So, yeah.
Do you know a god? Their name's Nahida. You tell us, Lord Kusanali, what happened in the Grand Bazaar.
You say that you are trekking across Tevat to train yourself. Many other Inazuma who
Shedinja?
describe themselves in this way call themselves Shugenja. Why do you refer to yourself as a wanderer?
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots. But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... this is a difficult one to explain. I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it seems that it ought to be called,
Previous incarnation. Makes sense.
Oh, like a past life or something?
Yes, something far more distant than the past. So far away that you cannot perceive it.
True.
Okay, I have to ask. What was I like in my previous incarnation? Oh, okay. I see. You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous incarnation.
I'm just trying to think of where to
If
start,
it's
buddy.
that difficult
Give us a
to
second.
talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult to hear, but I'll be able to handle it. Please, tell me the truth.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered evil. You nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly believed that you were missing a heart. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, you have to let parts of yourself go, or you'll never be happy.
Nahida tells the Wanderer about his past. What's gonna happen?
Everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and consequence.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong.
Exactly.
And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain the world and all of its complexity.
The world be hella complex.
Seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
You're telling me, buddy. But that's not the point of this.
But yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
Where we were each other's enemies.
If we were enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth?
It's complicated. The Genshin fandom.
This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met on the street. He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember anything. What a weird situation.
True.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told me must be true.
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves, if you're willing.
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
I'm just a puppet, with no heart and no name. There is nothing in this world for me to cling to fill the void within me. Except maybe these sins that can never be undone.
Very well.
Maybe.
As you wish.
Wait.
Here's your memories.
Go with him? This one's kind of on us for bringing him here.
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my burden to bear.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Sure.
Oh, good point. Given your, unique
We're babysitting again!
Better keep an eye on you.
Understood.
Thank you. Now, prepare yourselves, everyone.
Let's go back to Irminsul so that way you can see the memories. Enter the memory. Sure. Works for me. I guess you could talk to the Wanderer Nahida, but I didn't really care to.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your memories. These memories will show you the raw truth, but be aware that enemies may react just like in the real world. Please be careful.
Sounds like an immersive experience. It's a good thing we came along.
You don't need to do this for me. I don't deserve your protection.
We never give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but that was your doing.
Now we're just finishing the job.
Right. Thanks.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you after your creation. You had a great many memories here.
Is that because this is kind of like his birthplace?
You could say that, in a sense. You'll see why shortly.
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge.
Katsuragi!
I can't believe the landslide didn't fill
Katsuragi!
it in. I wonder who built it. The Crystal Marrow Miners? No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved, too. No mining crew would be capable of this. There's someone passed out on the ground.
Who are you?
You're awake. What happened? How'd you get stuck here? Are you injured? Not a scratch. And these fine clothes. Who are you?
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichiyo's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to Tatarasuna.
And the rest is history. Well, it used to be.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby. Hang in there.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor disguised
Yep,
as a
we knew
mechanic.
about that.
The balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, disappeared not long after. As the second in command at Tatarasuna, responsibility for what had happened fell to Mikoshi Nagamasa. But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's insistence, Nagamasa killed him to put an end to the Tatarasuna incident.
Damn. Crazy.
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Great question. Welcome to Genshin, where things are always sad.
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabukimono.
It's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Cool. Resurrection. How do we feel about Electro? Way behind schedule. Crazy! Something just tried to kill me. Crazy!
What are we doing back here?
I hear voices.
Oh, this is where you were born? It's pretty. But there's nobody here.
Is this Niwa?
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first, but there's nothing for us here. We can't stay.
Okay.
This must be
I
Niwa.
heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died, and then my dad got sick. He kept coughing all the time, just like me. Then Mom started coughing too.
But you can't. You promised me.
Yup, we're family now. We're gonna be together forever and ever.
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died before he could name him.
Never mind, not Niwa.
After his
Somebody
mother
else.
died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. Some of the neighbors helped to raise him. After leaving Tatarasuna, the balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him. They made a promise to live together.
What happened to the child then?
He died.
From his illness
Yeah.
while he was still
That's the
very
bird.
young.
That's the bird, the sick child.
Balladeer came home
Sporkatins is
and
correct.
found that he had stopped breathing.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family!
You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too. The voices have gone. It looks like the memory ends here.
Let's keep going.
Let's keep going and give you mental anguish. We all love mental. I don't know how I just survived that. We all like mental anguish. Mental anguish is so much
You're
fun.
blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
You could continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
The long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall?
What number harbinger is Jester? For those who know in chat, because y'all are smarter than I am.
Come at me!
No excuse for slacking.
Don't be a killjoy! We've only just begun!
he number 2?
Next on the agenda.
Or number 1? I don't think the Jester's number 1. Maybe the Jester might be number 1. Who knows?
This place is dark.
Oh, you tried to kill us here.
Paimon knows this place. It's the Delusion Factory in Inazuma.
In the original version of events, the Traveler once encountered the Balladeer here.
Such a creepy atmosphere. And so familiar.
Yeah, you tried to kill me here, asshole. But this is also not where we first met the Balladeer. We met him somewhere else. In a place that no one remembers except for me. I remember this. It was an unsettling place.
Look over there.
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this plan. Perhaps you find fighting in the Abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course,
I think he's one.
even
Okay.
this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the doctor.
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible, and don't let your emotions get in the way.
Surely you're not worried about me.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
Hey, Child's our friend, though. Child's our
I'm merely
BFF.
lighting a little fire in this
For FL.
chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest and stop pretending like you're above everyone else. Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
Yeah, we couldn't play a Senora. We had to get this fuck.
Poor little tongue? She's playing with fire talking to me like that. Who does she think she is? Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm welcome.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come. Wanderer, are you able to continue?
Yes. Please don't worry about me.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results and your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans.
I think Gani just died. Nope.
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
There we go. Run! Run away! Killing Fatui. Makes sense. Learning more about him. We're not going to learn about the other things. Oh, by the way, remember this? God, we're skipping all the event stuff, which makes sense because not everyone played all the events to learn about all this
Considering
backstory.
that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome. I look forward to a fruitful collaboration.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a trivial affair.
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible. In the event that a successful connection is established, his body will become permanently bound to the machine, and he will be unable to move independently of it.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner a great deal of information. Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the abyss. We barely saw each other, and it became difficult to further refine the knowledge I had gained.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart from your crazy experiments?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
The doctor again? That was uncomfortable to watch.
That
No one
person
likes the doctor.
gives off a very sinister energy.
He's behind all of this.
Normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out of Paimon.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. We ready to learn about how he fought you? Continue exploring. Excuse me? Oh, here. I was like, we have to jump off? That was not the right word, but off is the right word. Is this when he became a machine? Yep.
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes, are there any differences between humans and puppets?
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not,
That's fair. No, that's a good question.
Differences between humans and puppets.
Good questions indeed.
Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of death that eclipses the miracle of life, they are human too.
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, let it come to pass.
Are you saying...
Can you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules, with each person being a collection of past experiences. As a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you. Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with a void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one opportunity to become my true self.
Is this the true meaning of Greater Lord Rukadavada's words? A person can erase themselves. Even though the original balladeer is gone, this person will live on in his place. A person's sins are an inescapable part of their destiny too.
I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something
Sins
more,
follow you everywhere.
in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all my soul searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood it. Looking at it now, it seems that I brought this curse upon myself. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to change my destiny, and end my wandering.
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours.
Let's see it. Cutscene. Cutscene.
You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright?
Hey, you're back.
Hey!
this dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end.
Wow, Venti gives him it right now. Okay, that's cool.
Die.
Hey, he's back.
This
Welcome
is trying
back.
my patience.
Have you got all your memories back now?
Have you got any more stupid questions?
Well, he's back.
Squall Fury, at my command, you shall fall.
Yeah, I should have. Excuse me. Okay. So we're pretty much supposed to use his abilities to...
Feeble human. The wind rises.
Oh, shoot. What's the, I don't remember how it works. I don't remember how it works. I think it's X to fly up. That's right.
My endless cycle begins. Squall Fury.
That's right.
Feeble human.
Quit following me.
Insignificant pest. Know your place.
Alright, well, T's dead. Nice. Ah, you're dead!
Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
I think it's the longest cutscene Genshin's had.
Did we win?
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
You almost did, because I didn't remember how to play you.
Again. You're definitely back to your old self. Wait, but it was you inside that thing too. What have you got to be smug about?
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am.
So now you've recovered your memories, Pat, we'll catch up.
You sound like you're concerned about me. But don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success. This dream has served its purpose.
Come on. Let's continue this outside.
Okay. So half and half. Half asshole Scaramouche and half kind boy wanderer. I get it. I get it.
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer.
What up? We're all friends, I hear, I guess.
Like we just went on a really long journey.
No, the previous Archon quest was huge.
You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, I should probably change it.
You won't go by the Balladeer anymore?
After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui, and they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people, and they might not even remember who the sixth is.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
Let's call it a tactical retreat.
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I made a lot of people forget about me.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand that. Changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people, these are not simple things to accomplish.
Except one person already did that, but we don't know about that.
Annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
I'm surprised that they don't include Scaramouche's like original outfit as an outfit. That'd be cool.
How ridiculous.
They should.
Doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan.
It's a crazy plan, that's for sure.
I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes to make me useful again, so be it.
Yeah, Nahida doesn't see it that way, and Nahida's a kind soul.
I almost forgot. You're the good guys. You're into justice and all that.
Sparkling justice. No, sorry. Excuse me.
Perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The
Do you have both Wander and
wisest leaders are
Scaramouche?
fated to end up with the best helpers.
No, that's not.
I
They're
can
the
live
same
with
person.
that.
They're the same person, Catsy.
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply and see what secrets can be uncovered, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I want to know as well.
Thank you. Let's hope you can find some answers.
Traveler.
What's up?
After I dove into the information torrents in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma?
Because I wanted to know where you
So that's
changed.
how you found out whose fate had changed. And how? Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything I can to pay it back.
Well, please don't make it sound like I'm extorting
Borrowing
you.
and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day. Don't you worry.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be reset to zero. I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing the books. Some things in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed, which is why there is emotion in the human world. Everything that you feel is real and lasting, and whatever is missing in you will not be made whole. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be human.
No, that's not correct. Catsy still.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time ago.
You understand what pain is perfectly well,
Pretty good.
even without a heart. You're just bearing your feelings.
You're like a
The past
spoiled
is set in
teen.
stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
Hope you can give Nahida a chance.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but the most important thing now is that you need to follow Nahida. Otherwise, all our efforts will have been for nothing.
What's up, buddy?
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
We made a friend.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you, too.
Why?
Because Paimon still doesn't like you that much.
then I hope we don't see much of each other in the future.
A
Same.
name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them for ideas.
You want us to decide?
No, Paimon only does nicknames. If it's a serious name you're after, it's all yours.
So this is the big thing that I was already told.
Have you got anything?
Name change rules. You can obtain the item an appellative stroke from the Archon quest interlude in a version of Genesis which allows you to change Eon's Adrift Wanderer Anemo's name. Please take note that some names cannot be utilized in this change. Once you've renamed this character, some interfaces in the game going forward will display the name that you've chosen. There's a limit on the number of times you can rename this character, so do so with care. Travelers, please ensure you're following the terms, yada yada yada. Hello, I am not going to name you the Wanderer. I've been told that we get to name Scaramouche, aka the Wanderer. And yes, I've had him as Wanderer this entire time because, you know, so on and so forth. However, a lot of people choose different names. There's some people who are super obsessed with him and like call him like a cute nickname, like pet name or something. Cheese was convinced I was going to give him a really shitty name, but this is my playthrough of Genshin, and I'm not going to ruin a character's name just because I think that they're written poorly. And once again, I'll talk about that because I have a few vents I got to do. And this will be the last time we ever talk about Scaramouche's thing unless there's like more quests and such to maybe redeem. But I think I've come up, in my honest opinion, I think I've come up with a pretty good name for Scaramouche. And fun fact, it is not one of like my random it is not one of the random like conjumbled names that we come up with, like Silvern and Volika and Zaranasso and Zaratesh and all that sort of stuff. This name actually means something. This name actually means something. I would like to name you Irem. Irem is the Latin word for wrath, which I think is a pretty good definition of Scaramouche. So let's have him be named the Latin word for wrath.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh, all right. If you say so.
Your name is now Irem.
There. Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Are you done yet?
Still thinking. Stop rushing me.
Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of one.
So what do you plan to do next?
Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly. But it won't be immediate.
Chat, what do y'all think about the name?
Time to compose yourself.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, they ought to know about the connection between Raiden Gokuden and myself. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, please tell them that I was the one responsible for the Raiden Gokuden's downfall. Even though the events have been erased from the world, they still deserve to know the truth.
I see. That is up to you.
Huh? But if we do that, then...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. Maybe that's how it always should have been. What's that look for? Don't make that face. I know what I'm doing. That day will come. All right. We're done here. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant. He'll need some time to calm down.
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything that's happened, he doesn't seem quite as fierce anymore.
But it's all over now.
Go eat? Paimon is starving.
Thank you both. I hope you will find somewhere nice to go and relax for a while.
Maybe, but that's it for the Archon quest, right? Those
I've got
two.
it. I can end my novel with some words from Mikoshi Nagamasa.
You mean because everyone else in the story
They named him Zephyr.
is dead?
Zephyr's pretty good.
Yeah, I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe
Zephyr's a
old
cool
age.
name.
He's the perfect fit to be the narrator of the epilogue. The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued to cast their shadow in Mikoshi Nagamasa's mind for decades to come. Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when that prized blade, the Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, the people rejoiced, and there was painting, dancing, and drinking. All these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire and turned into red clouds that rallied around the final sunrise that Mikoshi Nagamasa saw in his lifetime. Life is a story too long
Yep,
to
that's
be
correct,
told.
Sparks. That's
a
correct.
journey that you must walk to behold.
Zephyr's a cool name. And I'm not trying to make it as like ear-catching or anything as Scaramouche. I purely just I want a name that suits him. I may dislike what they've done with the character in all essence, but I will say that I do want to treat him as at least a character and give him the benefit of the doubt.
It's about time we had a break.
Yeah.
Once you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing back.
I'll buy some delicious treats as a reward.
Huh? Look at the vase.
What about it?
Someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? Like, Paimon doesn't remember there being a cleaner.
That night we stayed here, Paimon bumped to the table after being startled by something to do with the balladeer and broke the vase. The balladeer erased his existence. He changed the world, so why is this vase still broken?
You sound lost and confused.
Who's that?
I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh? Is there someone here talking to us?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance, but for anyone else, who can say? When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true of fate, like a vase that falls to the ground. Whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird, the result is still a broken vase, is it not?
Who are you? How do you know about all this?
History does not change easily, but human hearts can. Believe your own eyes. Only that which you see is true. What is unseen is but an illusion.
The voices disappeared. And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming out of nowhere and saying all that scary stuff?
Sounds like Midnight Venus. With my eyes, does she mean I should trust my memories?
Anyway, that vase is still lying there broken on the ground. Should Paimon go get someone to clean it up? It feels wrong just leaving it there. Just a moment. Paimon will be right back.
I wonder what else awaits me in the future. It's a good point. It's a good point. I think it's either the based on that, it's either the Pyro Archon, or that could be maybe the Unknown God, possibly. But I don't remember what her voice sounded like in the opening, even though I literally rewatched Blaze doing the opening. All right. Well, that is that. We did it. We've done the quest. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope you thought it was cool. I hope you thought it was great. Yada, yada, yada. All right. Can I just wrap up this whole story, though, with something I hate in writing? And I think this will be where I end off, probably regarding Irem. Now, I'm going to refer to Scaramouche as Irem moving forward. Unless somebody gets confused, and then I'll say Scaramouche just to describe. But from moving forward, I will call them as Iram because that is their new name, and I'm going to respect their new name, as should all of you, at least in my playthrough. If it's in other people's playthroughs, like, whatever. This is what I told Cheese. So Cheese, I wanna let this be known. I was aware of what happens in this Archon quest before we streamed it. Before we streamed it today, I was fully aware of everything that was going to happen in this Archon quest. However, let it be known, it was not because Cheese told me. I straight up, and I'm pretty sure I've done this on stream too. I want to say that I'm pretty sure I've done this on stream. I'm pretty sure on stream, but I know with our conversation with Cheese, I predicted everything that was going to happen in this quest with some room of error. There, not like a big amount of error, but like some room. Because the Scaramouche character / Iram in our case, but the character of Scaramouche overall is not a good character archetype that I like personally. And this is my own personal choice, and I want to explain it because I feel like I upset people every single time I say I dislike Scaramouche, or in this case Iram, but I want to finally explain it fully now that we've done this quest, now that we have done the backstory. Let's fully explain it, okay? What it boils down to is I have an aversion to characters who get rewritten in order to help the party. I have an aversion to characters who get their backstories and everything changed in order to help the main party succeed in their goals. Unless there is ulterior motives or anything, I don't think it's a good thing. There are some exceptions. There are some time, well, I say exceptions, but not entirely. There are some characters who are villains who the entire time they might have been very misguided, they're very like out of touch with things, and they weren't really a core antagonist or that they were being controlled by a higher power. You could argue that Iram or Scaramouche in our Scaramouche or Iram in our case was one of those characters. However, it also depends on what they do and how they go about writing a character who is going to ultimately help out the party, okay? As somebody who enjoys writing, enjoys analyzing writing, a character like that, you have to make sure, you absolutely have to make sure that they're not having their sins completely like ignored or anything like that, or you're trying to rewrite them to be in a more positive light towards them. You have them accept that what they did was wrong, fully embrace it, and say, hey, I understand what I've done is wrong. I understand that I really, really fucked up. But I want to make the amends. And I don't think Genshin did that. And that is a reason, the kind of the core reason why I dislike Scaramouche's / Iram's character. Put it this way. Imagine you're following this villain, this entire story. You're following this villain, super interesting. He has given you some thought-provoking questions and let you think about like the overarching lore as a whole.
Next on the agenda.
Let it be known. If you go back, right? If you go back and rewatch when I did the first event where we met Scaramouche, which was the Fischl Reconciled Stars event, I believe is what it was called. If you go back and watch that, I do believe I state that I like this idea of an antagonist being somebody who is so strong that you cannot hope to go against them, that you will die to them, that like, oh shit, this person is stronger than you need to beat them, but they're also pure evil. I like that sort of idea because that means that that's something you want to strive towards. That's something. Now, people talking about, hey, we're going to get Scaramouche eventually in the gacha and everything. He's going to be a playable character. Wasn't really on board with that because I wanted there to be an antagonist and let him fully play out the antagonist role. So you can say that part of it was, due to me being a little bit irritated about that part of the fandom. Nevertheless, I was hoping, but I knew deep down, but I was hoping that the way they wrote Scaramouche was as such. Scaramouche would do all of these terrible villainous things, would do things that would absolutely go against, Inazuma, would go against Sumeru in this point, would go against Liwa, Mondstadt, has affected history in such a negative light, in such an evil way, that you are convinced that this person has evil. Sure, there's a nice backstory. Like there could be some backstory to show that they were nicer at a different time, but at this moment they're evil and you need to defeat them. However, as time went on, I became worried of the fact that they were going to, in order to appease the Genshin fandom, hand wave the sins, right? Just completely hand wave the sins and decide, meh, he's good. He might remember his sins, but like now everyone doesn't remember them, so like it's fine. And like sure, he tells you, hey, go tell everybody that I've done bad stuff. But essentially, in order to get Scaramouche to be part of the team, the world has to believe he has some sort of good in him. Once again, the hand wave, as I call it. And I very much dislike the idea of a hand wave character. And this entire time, while Scaramouche was being talked about, was being planned to be an unlockable character in the gacha, playable, and had the story behind him, I knew that they were going to do the hand wave. Yeah, exactly, Sparks. Slap on the wrist. You're cool now.
We're way behind schedule.
Congratulations. All of your sins, you now will recognize your sins, but none of that matters. No one in this life knows about that anymore. So who gives a fuck? Right? And I hate that way of storytelling. And that is why I dislike Scaramouche / Irem so heavily. Because it feels like a letdown to the character. And I've talked about this numerous times. I know some people in this chat are sick of me slandering Scaramouche and talking about it. But I just want the writing to be better for Scaramouche. And I honestly believe that they've done the character a disservice, but I saw this coming. Let it fucking be known. I, as somebody who loves to write and likes to research literature and likes to learn about different types of writing, I saw this coming since the probably second time we ran into Scaramouche after realizing the fandom was obsessed with him. /Irem. It's just absolutely infuriating when you have such a good character, such a well-written and good thought-out character, and you just know that sometime in the story they're going to be the ones who get the slap on the wrist, who get the hand wave, that all of their sins don't matter anymore. They're now a good guy. Awesome. We're all working together. Cool. No one remembers that you're evil. Awesome. We might do that, but since you're good now, who gives a fuck? I hate it. I absolutely abhor the idea of that being used as a storytelling device. And I talked about this. I ranted to this to Cheese, because I know Cheese, for those who know my mod King Cheese, Cheese absolutely loves Scaramouche / Irem. Absolutely. Right? Absolutely adores Scaramouche. And I understand why people really like Scaramouche. I do. But as somebody who loves to write, as somebody who loves literature and loves a good story, it's such a letdown when you give a character a slap on the wrist and hand wave their entire backstory in order to make them a playable character or make them seem like a good character overall. It's very, very depressing. There are still people, and I feel like once again Sage is probably one of the people, and so is Cheese, who are tired of me slandering Scaramouche / Irem. I understand that. I really, really do. But the reason I'm like this is because I'm very passionate about writing, almost to an annoying sense. I completely understand that. I'm gonna stop playing for a little bit so I can explain too. It's such a good, it hurts because there was so much potential with this character, especially with the idea of the sky being fake, and you have this strong character that you're just trying to get stronger against. And you just, when you're a writer and you absolutely know that just to appease the viewers, the audience, the customers, that you have to, he's good, is such a letdown as a writer. It's such a letdown because that, to me, as somebody who enjoys writing, right, who has studied it, might have not graduated, I understand, and have not written like a novel or anything of the sort, but I do enjoy writing in my free time. Short stories, poems, all that sort of stuff. I want to release a novel in the future. Taking a character and just appeasing your audience just for the sake of appeasing them so that way they can get what they want is not a good writing structure. Am I saying that Scaramouche / Irem should not have been a character that's a playable character in Genshin? Absolutely not. I think overall it would have been a better storytelling aspect if Scaramouche ended up dying or something like that when we fought, and like there was some dying words and all that sort of stuff. I think that would have been more impactful. But if you were really trying to put them as a playable character, if you absolutely were trying to put them as a playable character, I would have said that you should not have done a hand wave. You should let him come back out, realize all the mistakes, realize how used he was, realize that the betrayal was not, instead of erasing and trying to give him a hand wave, have him embrace it, have him discuss it and talk with other people who absolutely hate and abhor him and say, listen, I've realized in the past what happened. I did terrible things. I can never take them back, and I'm still probably evil, but honestly, I'll still do evil things. I'll still be an asshole, but I also want to defeat the person who ultimately betrayed me, in this case, the doctor. If he was like that and said, listen, I'm joining your cause, not because I'm a good guy, not because I even like being good. The mere concept of the good disgusts me. I absolutely hate it. I vomit every time I think of justice. If Scaramouche, that's Irem, was like that, and he's like, oh goodness, helping people out, bleh, yuck, disgusting. Oh my gosh, terrible. I'm still evil, but fuck the doctor. Like, I hate that guy more than being evil and more than you two. That I'm willing to join your cause, even though I'm probably still going to be evil, that would be so much better. Because now you're essentially trying to corral this evil force of a man who, Scaramouche man, puppet, that stuff. You're trying to corral this evil being. There we go. Evil being who is still evil, still hates humans, still hates gods, is just all around a super spiteful person. But above all else, the pinnacle of hatred is the doctor. And you're just essentially, the story is also like when you're interacting with Scaramouche / Irem in the future, you know, trying to corral them, trying to stop them from doing supremely evil stuff, like still trying to stop their nefarious deeds and everything and what they're doing and their hatred, but still trying to teach them compassion, teach them the meaning of friendship, and still trying to get through to them while still achieving the goal of beating the doctor. I think that would be a much, much better way of writing the character. That is purely my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm not a successful writer. I'm somebody who went to English to get an English degree for a few years and didn't get it. But this is something I'm passionate about. This is something I am absolutely passionate about, which is why I hate the waste of a good character. In chat, you can tell me I'm wrong. You could absolutely tell me I'm wrong, and that like it like that wouldn't make the character better. It might make it worse. All that sort of stuff. For me personally, that is how I feel. That is absolutely how I feel about the character. And that's why I've slandered Scaramouche / Irem for so long, because I just knew this would happen. I just knew it. I predicted it to Cheese, and I know people are irritated at me saying it over and over again. And people are like, Kit, shut up. We know you hate Scaramouche / Iram. We know. But truth be told, it's sad to me to see a great character just get thrown to the wayside to appease the audience. That's all. That is going to be my take on Scaramouche / Iram moving forward. Moving forward, they'll be purely known as Iram. Behind my name, it says Iram. You cannot switch their outfit, which is fine. But yeah, I'm sticking to that, okay? I'm sticking to what I'm saying. And I hope that is okay. For whatever is, you know. Interesting. So that's my take on it. I hope that's okay with everybody. We will use Iram for teams in the future. We absolutely will. I do want to have a team featuring Iram because I think that the character itself as like a catalyst user is really cool. I think this is perfectly fine. But that I've said my piece. I will not talk about it any further unless somebody in chat brings it up, and I will fight my viewpoint for as long as possible. And I want to end this, and I actually want to end off the stream. I'll explain why in a moment, but I do want to end this before I end off the stream with one final thing. This entire talk of me not liking Iram and not being a big fan of them is not to try to change anybody's mind. Please let it be known that I do not want to change anybody's mind with what I am saying right now. I absolutely do not want to be the result of anyone changing their mind. At the end of the day, I just want to tell y'all something that I feel passionate about, something that, like, my personal opinion on it, and something that I personally believe should be something that is criticized. You're more than welcome to love Scaramouche or Iram or whatever name you gave the Wanderer. You're more than welcome to do that. You're more than welcome to absolutely love the character for even the most minute of reasons. I completely understand. I'm pretty sure that Iram will be one of my favorite Catalyst users to use just in general based on their playstyle. I imagine that would be the case. But please criticize bad backstory and terrible writing of characters that you are passionate about. Please open up to that. Because I do think that Iram was done an injustice here. And I knew it was coming. I didn't want it to happen. I was also getting frustrated because people are blindly liking Iram for very little reason and don't care about anything that happens backstory wise. They're just like, yeah, it's whatever. We don't give a fuck. That pisses me off because you really should be critical of the characters that you like. You really, really should. So that's my take on that, and that's also going to be the end of the stream today.
Cannot blow on forever.
So why are we ending off the stream here rather than, doing the TCG? Why are we not doing the TCG? Why are we not exploring? Why is Sage in the game? Gosh, Sage is everywhere in the game. Crazy. The reason for this is because I don't feel good doing a doing more things next to an Archon quest that we have just done. I've learned through doing all of these Genshin streams that you cannot escape Sage, true. I've learned that through doing all of these Genshin streams, majority of y'all, if the stream is focused on exploring and such, that's what y'all are here for. If you're all here for the Archon quest, that is what you're here for. Hangout events, that's what you're here for. Overall world events, that's what you're here for. Combining the two just isn't a good idea overall. And, you know, even doing like the TCG alongside it, I think people would prefer just a core TCG stream rather than that. To make up for this, there is still a bunch in Genshin that I need to do. An absolute metric fuck ton of stuff that I need to do. Welcome back, Sparks. There is an absolute metric fuck ton that we still need to do, and I just want to go over what to expect with Genshin Impact moving forward, because, and let this be known, there's going to be a lot of Genshin before the end of the year, and of course more still to come. So let's talk about it, okay? First off, quests. If anyone's like curious about things, this is all going to be on the Discord, and I'm going to be trying to like do stream schedule stuff on like YouTube, so that way like y'all know when things are. But I want to at least, you know, let everyone know what's going on regarding quests, events, so on and so forth. So first things first, Test of Courage. Test of Courage is going to be its own entire stream. Yes, we started, we kind of scratched the surface, but we will not be doing the Akitsu Kimo Damsen immediately. We're going to hold off on it for a little bit. We might do it in like two more parts to so on and so forth. But this will probably be like 2 to 4 streams of Akitsu Kimodamashi. Misty Dungeon Realm of Sand will be just doing this as well as exploring. Okay? TCG, if we're doing TCG streams in the future, it will solely be TCG. Like we'll do our commissions and we'll do resin stuff, but it will solely be TCG. Nahida's story quest. It will just be Nahida's story quest. There will be nothing else attached to it, no exploring, anything of the sort, except for maybe some co-op resin stuff, depending on when we do it. But Nahida's story quest will just be Nahida's story quest, and then probably some grinding. Hangout events will just be one of these per stream. So yes, let it be known, it will just be one hangout event per stream moving forward, as well as exploring after the fact, because if there is time. The reason I'm doing this all like this is because I want, if people want to check out the streams or the VODs for specific reasons, I want it to just be compiled in 1 to 2 streams or VODs. I don't want it to be like super spread out everywhere, right? I don't want to start Ito's event or do like Nahida's story quest right now when people are trying to like watch like those specific parts, right? That's the key. So what's going to happen? Well, there's no more stream after this. I'm going to be kind of going to sleep early because I have a little bit of a long day tomorrow. That being said though, tomorrow, Pokemon Legends Arceus. We will be streaming a whole bunch of Pokemon Legends Arceus. No Genshin tomorrow. Saturday though, I think the schedule for Saturday may be changing a little bit. But I do want to let y'all know that we are going to be doing Genshin on Saturday, and it will be the Misty Dungeon Realm of Sand. We'll be doing that as well as exploring, and let it be known we are going to be exploring the rest of Forest Sumeru. We will not stop the stream until we have done everything we possibly can exploration-wise in Forest Sumeru. R&R quests, other side quests, the giant ruin guard, all that sort of stuff. We are doing all of that on Saturday, okay? We are not doing the TCG on Saturday because, let it be known, on Sunday, because I believe Sunday is not when it goes over, Sunday we will be dedicating an entire day doing more of the TCG, okay? So for those who want to do the TCG, that's the case. One last thing I want to mention though before we do the TCG though. So first off, yes, I know that there's character invites. Secondly, I know that it's, you know, Ellen, Marjorie, Chongyun, and Noelle. I know everybody is here right now. Just double checking. Yeah, guest challenges are all here, so we will be doing all 4 of those on Sunday. However, this is the key. I was thinking about it long and hard, and I am going to hold off on doing PvP battles with the deck of cards, okay? I am holding off on doing player versus player battles with the TCG. The reason for this, and I think this is a fair reason, is because somebody, at least a few people from what I understand, have already put online on the internet, which is to be fair, to expected, a full list of the meta cards that are used to, if you want to win every single game or have one of the top decks around. Apparently people have put together these lists and they're all very similar from what I've been told. I have not looked at any of them, but it has reached me. I've been sent links. I really don't want links to those because I want to make the deck myself. That being said, I imagine people will come up with their own decks that they feel super confident with. And if that's the case, we'll go for it. But I want to avoid the overarching meta as much as possible. Okay? That being said, I don't think that most people in chat use the meta because it's a freaking card game and it's not worth really too many points. But I'm going to hold off onto it until people finally maybe start realizing, oh wait, all the cards are good. And, you know, then at that point we'll go from there. Okay? Other than that, that is going to be it for the stream today. I thank y'all so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed the Genshin Impact stream, and I hope y'all enjoyed Irum's story quest, or I guess Archon quest. It was a good time. I think that it was rushed. I do think Irum's Archon quest was rushed because I would have loved more nicer version of Irum, if anything, but it is what it is. But it wasn't terrible. It was not terrible. That being said, we'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be playing not 5 hours, not 6 hours, not 7. We're going to be doing an 8-hour planned Pokemon Legends Arceus stream of just tasks, chilling, relaxing, answering questions, talking about all sorts of games and upcoming games that we're going to be streaming. Why are we doing 8 hours? Because I want to chill. I want to do task stuff in that game. And because, there are a lot of games that are being planned for the end of December as well as beginning of January that I want to talk about, and I want to reflect on some of the games that we've streamed over the year 2022. So if you all want to chill, that'll be happening tomorrow. That being said, and that's over on Twitch. So if you're over on the YouTube side of things, sorry YouTube, once again, it's only Genshin and Fall Guys that goes on YouTube, and Splatoon if I ever decide to play it again. But with that, I thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, and or evening. Of course, my name's Katathi. I'll see you all next time for more variety gaming. See y'all later. Peace. Bye, everyone.